Shalom. Welcome to today's edition of Rabbi Ron in the House. Here we have it again, folks. Tree of Life Bible. Digging in Acts chapter 9. Ananias, last time God told him go see Paul so he can regain his sight. Ananias was obedient. And it tells us that he went there and did it, laid hands on Saul. And what happened? Immediately something like scales fell from his eyes and he regained his sight. The Lord was good to Saul, did that, and it says what? Then he got up and was immersed. We just talked about this last week, the previous chapter. Listen, he didn't have to go to classes for several weeks in the local Messianic synagogue. He now had the opportunity to get immersed, and he went and did it. There's no time limit that you need to wait before you can be immersed. As soon as the opportunity arises after coming to faith, you go and get immersed. Then the scripture says for several days he was with the disciples in Damascus. He spent some time with them. But then the next verse, immediately he began proclaiming Yeshua in the synagogues, saying he is the Ben Elohim, the Son of God. Immediately he started sharing. Now listen, I want to encourage you. Now, immediately you're not to go out and become the rabbi or pastor of a local congregation. No. But immediately upon coming to faith, you are to share what you are able to share. And within whatever circles you have. With Saul being a Pharisee, he had relationship with the leaders of the synagogues, and therefore those were his friends, and he had opportunity to share in the synagogue. You are not called to go and start sharing in the synagogue or the local churches or Messianic synagogues or anything right away. Take some time, grow, get grounded. But immediately start sharing your faith within the circles and the opportunities that God gives you. Immediately get up there and share the good news of Messiah. What is interesting, it says, it tells us he shared about Yeshua, and then it mentions one thing in particular, shared that he's the Ben Elohim, the Son of God. That's the thing, man, going to the Jewish people, usually that'd be one of the things people say, well, don't bring that one up too quickly. They know about it, but that's going to be a hard spot with Jewish people. Leave it alone, wait till it comes up. Don't ask for trouble before it's time. Paul went in there and told him he is the Son of God. If he went up there and it mentions that he brought that up right away, it must be an important thing. He is the Son of God. Being the Son of God is nothing that Christians made up centuries down the road. I remember years ago working and living with Jonathan Burness. He invited an old high school buddy to come over and visit, and they got together, a Jewish friend of his, and he was sharing with him about Yeshua, his Jewish buddy from school, and he opened up Proverbs chapter 30. Got his Jewish publication and Bible out there. Had his Jewish friends start reading Proverbs chapter 30 verse 4. Who has done this? Who has established the ends of the earth? Put water in its boundaries. Things of that nature. And then all of a sudden he stops him and says, puts his hand down over the Bible. Wait a minute. Who is it talking about? Describing, putting the earth, the boundaries and things like that. And it was so obvious, it was easy. It was God as the creator of this earth. And his Jewish friend looked and said, oh yeah, it's speaking about God. He's creating. He goes, you sure? He goes, yeah, it's speaking about God. He lifts up his hand and says, okay, go ahead now. Read the last sentence. And it says, what is his son's name? Tell me if you know. And his friend just looked at him. Jonathan then did say nothing. I was just observing. And he just looked at Jonathan and says, I don't know who it's talking about, but it's not Jesus. It was so obvious. The point is here, right there, the book of Proverbs, Jewish Bible says, what is God's son's name? What is his son's name after it just described God as the creator? Yeshua is the Ben Elohim. He is the Son of God. This is not negotiable. This is not something, well, we'll just forget about it to make it easier for Jews to put their trust in Messiah. He is the Ben Elohim. He is the Son of God. Don't be ashamed to share it. It is the truth. And so thanks for joining us today. This has been Rabbi Ron in the House.